Hey everybody, it's Pam, and I am here to talk to you about a really important subject, and that is follow up. This is so important in every part of your business, and so I want to give you some tips. And we're going to start with a system called 2 plus 2 plus 2, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But before we do, having a system for your follow up is really important. So whether you have it in a notebook and you're writing it down or you do it on an Excel spreadsheet, find something that works for you because systems do set you free. Okay, it might take you just a little extra time to get it set up, but once you have a system for anything, it saves you lots of time in the end because you really don't have to think about it. You're just like, oh, okay, this is what I do. This is my next step. Okay, so find a system that works for you. So when is follow-up important? What part of your business? It's important if you are getting your business started and you're reaching out and talking to people. So you have what I call prospects. Maybe you're working on your frank list. It's important when you have clients. It's important when you have a team. And prospects and leads kind of go together. I constantly am talking to people and have leads, and I reach out to people this way, that way, the other thing, and I just write it down because some pay off right away, some pay off down the road, some may never pay off. But staying on top of it and staying in touch with them is really important. And when it comes to prospects and your leads, you can't give up after the first time. You can't give up after the second time or the third time. You want to, stay in front of these people. They say we need to see something like 7 times before it finally sinks in. How many times have you not seen something, somebody's reached out to you, offered you something, and you're like, yes, I want to do that. I got to take advantage of that. And then you get distracted and you totally either forget about it or you miss it because the deadline is passed, right? So don't give up on people. Life is happening, at a breakneck speed, and we don't know what's going on in people's lives. So if they ignore you or they don't respond or they say no right now, they're not saying no to you anyways. They're just saying no, not right now, or no, I don't have enough information. But, if they just haven't responded, that's not even a no, right? That's not even a no. Maybe they didn't even see the message. Maybe they didn't listen to their voicemail, right? Maybe they didn't read their email. So just don't give up on people. This is really, really important, you guys. It's important to be consistent, persistent, and be committed, all right? Because people do need us. They do need what we have to offer, okay? All right, so let's talk about why it's important to do follow-up. And for those of you who don't know, I have been in direct sales for 31 years and have offered a skincare and makeup product for that long. So it's been a consumable product. And man, you guys, the reorders, oh my goodness, that's the icing on the cake. Now we have TLC, which is amazing. And that's going to be the icing on your cake, the more TLC members that you enroll. So because we have that fabulous consumable product, staying in front of people, staying in touch with them is super, super important. It is 7 times easier to keep a client than to find a new one. 7 times. So, not that we're not always looking for new clients, but we want to take care of the ones we have. And that's what can set you apart from, Ulta or the Clinique person, that's working there for $10 an hour and they may never see them again. The relationships are so important. As I transitioned my clients over from the old company to TrueAura, a lot of them stayed with me because they trusted me. And they're like, if you think it's good, then I want to try it. I don't know how many times I haven't heard that in the last few months. If you think it's a great thing, then I want to try it. They trust me because, I've developed that relationship with them. A lot of them in person because I've met them, at facials or when we did spa parties. But some because, we kept in touch over social media. So whatever works for your client or your prospect, that's what you should be doing. Okay. If she likes to text, then you text. If she wants to talk on the phone, then you talk on the phone. And I know if you're of the younger generation, you guys don't talk on the phone to each other, but your moms do, and your aunts do, and your grandmas do. So be willing to be flexible in how you communicate with people. Okay. Okay, so let's keep going. So 7 times easier to keep one than to find a new one. We talked about clients for life, and I've had clients for life. I've had clients, the same clients for 30 years that are still with me. They have spent thousands of dollars with me, and I don't take that for granted. That's amazing. They did it because it was an awesome product, but they also did it because I gave them good service. And, I was in touch with them. Not always in the best way, you guys. I have not always been great at this. I still struggle with it, to make time for it, but it's really important. We also want to be proactive instead of reactive, and we're going to get to that when we talk about following up after they've started on their products. It's better to, if there's something that's not working right or whatever, it's better to catch it right away than down the road. And then, this kind of goes with it. If people love your product, they might tell, 1, 2, or 3 people about it. But if they don't love it, they're going to tell like 10 people about it. That's just kind of how we are. You know how the negative is so much easier to come out than the positive? And, everything's not perfect in True Aura yet, you guys. We know that. But it's getting better every day. And I just want us to stay positive and appreciate what we have. Appreciate what Gary Jones does for us. All of that. We have, we've only got 7 products at this point. This is June 9. If you're watching this in June, we're going to get more products, later this year. But guys, we have 7 products that are really, really amazing. So, let's promote the heck out of them. Also, I just kind of talked about that, the relationship and people caring about them, you following up with a client, that's just kind of unheard of in today's world, right? They order something online, if they go to Ulta, if they go to Clinique, that Clinique person is not going to call them up, a couple days later and say, hey, how you liking that product? It just doesn't happen. So again, that sets you apart and that cements that relationship, that trust they have in you. So let's talk about 2 + 2 + 2. Okay. I know I'm talking fast. I'll try to slow down a little bit if you're taking notes. So 2 + 2 + 2 is 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months. And those are just kind of guidelines as the time frame for you to be reaching out and following up with your clients. 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months. Now, if you miss the 2 day and you're like, oh shoot, do I wait till 2 weeks? No. If it's day 5, you contact them on day 5, okay? But it's just kind of a good guideline to go by. So that's why it's important to have a system so that you can write down those dates and the responses. And if you have to do any follow-up further or check into something for them, that you make sure you do it. It's really important to be true to your word, you guys. You say, I would tell people this when they started their skincare back in my old company. I promise you will love it if you use it. And I still say that. But I would also say, I'm going to follow up with you and make sure you're using it. And that did 2 things. For them, they're like, oh, well, she's going to find out if I'm using it. I better use it. And it also was my, I told her I would follow up, so I better follow up because I've tried very hard to be true to my word. Okay. So 2 days after purchase, within 48 hours, please thank them for their purchase. Thank them. Okay. However you want to thank them. Thank you notes are awesome. Don't we all love to get a handwritten thank you note in the mail? Again, that sets you apart. I know some of you are posting a really nice post on social media. Thank you, Rebecca, for your purchase of the Core 4. Your skin is going to love it. So if that works for you, do that. Somehow thank them for their purchase. Okay. Then also 2 days after they have started using it. So because, if you give it to them, if you're selling retail and you give it to them right then and there, if you have it in stock, I have some clients I do that with, I want to thank them, and I want to follow up and make sure they remember how to use it and that they are using it. Okay. If they've signed up as TLC, right, they're going to get it in the mail. So you make sure you thank them. And then I always say, tell me when you've gotten it. And if I don't hear from them within a week, I'm like, hey, have you gotten your products and how are you liking them so far? You want to make sure they're using it. This is really important. If they don't use it, it doesn't benefit you or them, right? So make sure they're using it and they know how to use it correctly. Hey, is everything working well? If you haven't given them instructions, please do so at this point. Either a little card that has instructions on it. We have some of those available that we've recommended, or like a post, a message that you posted, something like that, a graphic. Make sure because we think they're going to remember, but again, life happens, and then they're like, do I wash off the toner? No, don't wash off the toner. How many pumps am I supposed to use? That type of thing. I don't bring up the subject of the pumps, the airless pumps, which we're having some issues with now. But if you ask them, is everything working correctly? They're going to tell you yes or no. Okay. So make sure they're using it. Okay. So within 2 weeks, make sure they're using it. So now we've got the 2 days. We're thanking them and making sure they have it. Oops, I got mixed up. Sorry. 2 days to thank them and make sure they remember how to use it. Okay. And then I got to make it sure. Yeah. Also, at this point, if you are working with people that have some challenging skin issues, okay, I've got a lady I'm working with right now who has the most sensitive skin I have ever seen in 31 years. She has rosacea, and like she can drink a berry tea made with berries, and it will make her like react. So we're working together, and it's kind of a slow process, but that's okay. So I've been, in touch with her and sharing with her some things to do and not do. If you're working with somebody with acne, be very confident, make sure they're using enough product, make sure they know it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks. It could take 4 to 6 weeks, okay, for them to see the results. Now it could be in 4 to 6 days. We don't know how their skin is going to do, but they have to have that expectation that they can't quit after 2 or 3 weeks if they're not seeing good results, okay? And sometimes even at 2 and 3 weeks, it could be worse because the skin is detoxing, okay? But I would be staying in touch with that person weekly, to just say, got to keep using it, got to keep trying it. Trust me on this, making sure they're not using other products with it. That's a really important thing too, because if they start breaking out, they want to grab their Retin-A, or they want to grab benzoyl peroxide. And it's like, no, don't do that, because that is going to totally I don't say mess up, but it's going to slow down the process of the good bacteria, being fed into their skin. Okay. So make sure they know what to expect. And then at 2 weeks, now we're at 2 weeks. Again, by that point, most people are loving it. Okay. So you want to check in. Hey, how's everything going? Just want to check and make sure you are loving your new products and your skin is loving them. However you want to say that. I try to not ask yes or no questions, but tell me, if they're like, yeah, it's going good. Okay, I like to dig a little deeper. Tell me what you're seeing. What are you feeling? Well, I'm noticing this, that, the other thing. So if they're having some great results, that's the time to ask them for a review. If you have a business page, or just, screenshot or a message, tell me what you're loving about it. Screenshot that. People love to see that. Okay. So 2 weeks. That is also the point to say, I'm so glad that you're loving it. Have you thought any more about trying the eye cream or the advanced day or night? Or if you haven't talked to them about that, that's the time for you to talk to them about that. Especially if they're looking for anti-aging results. Adding in the day and the night treatment can make a huge difference. Or even one of them. And anybody in their 20s or older should be using the advanced eye repair. So everybody should be using that advanced eye repair. And if they're TLC members, they're going to get 15% off all those products, right? So anything they add, they're going to get 15% off. And you can remind them of that and say, if they're TLC, they can go right into their account and add those products, or you can help them do that. Be there to assist them, okay? Because the more products they fall in love with, the more products they're going to continue to want to use and reorder from you, okay? And then as we get more products down the road, you'll have more products to suggest to them, and everything for them is going to be 15% off. So that's a really big deal. That's also a good point to say, who do you know that might be interested in, clean products that are probiotic based? If they love the products, they're talking to people, you guys. So ask that question, not do you know, but who do you know that might be interested in more information about this, or maybe some samples? And then just, again, wait for the answer. All right. Because if they love clean products, chances are they have friends that love clean products too. Okay. So that's a question we all need to be asking, and it's okay to ask it more than once. Okay. 2 months. 2 months is really important, because that is the point where they're going to be running out of product. And if they're on TLC, that is the point where they're going to get another shipment, right? So I keep track of that. I just went through my TLC members this morning, and you can actually find a way to see all the dates of their orders, and then you can figure out when their next order is coming. If it was April, it's going to be June, right? If it's April 15, now it's going to be June 15. So I'll tell you what the company does, and then I'll tell you what I do. What the company does is 8 to 10 days before that next shipment is scheduled to ship out, they will send the client an email, and they'll let them know, hey, another shipment is coming, another order is coming. If you'd like to add to your order, go into your account, you can do that. Then within 5 days of it shipping, so if it's June 15, June 10, that's the cutoff date for them to make any changes to their account. So if it's within 5 days of it shipping, no changes can be made to the order, okay? So I want them to hear from me first. So I've been trying really hard for maybe like 2 weeks out, instead of, 8 to 10 days. They're going to hear from me 12 to 14 days ahead of time to say, hey, I'm just checking in with you. Wanted to let you know that your next order will be coming in a couple of weeks. If there's anything you'd like to add, and then I might suggest something, you're going to get it at 15% off. And also, if they're eligible for free shipping, make sure you tell them that too. Because I've got some people that joined in February, they got their second order in April, their third order is going to come in June, and they're going to be getting their free shipping on all their orders now, all their TLC orders. So that's really cool to be able to tell them that. So I want them to hear from me. I send them a link to the, where the True Aura Beauty the login page. I send them a link to that so they can go right in and see how easy it is to add to their order. And at that point, they might say, I'm not really ready for another shipment this month. Can I back this up a month? And yes, they can. They can back it up 1 month. So instead of 2 months, it will come 3. But they need to go into their account to do that, or call or email the business center. And we can't do that for them, you guys. We can't email the business center and say, hey, Susie Q wants to back up her order. They need to hear from the client. Everything is very safe and very secure, and it needs to be done through the client. So it's very simple to do. The business center is very, courteous, very happy to help them out. So, that can be, and I've had some clients do that, and that's okay, right? It's okay. They're still ordering every 3 months. That's awesome. That's 4 times a year, you guys. TLC is a place to be. It's so amazing, because you are going to have regular clients or orders from your clients 4 to 6 times a year. That's awesome. And that makes your PV really go up. Okay. That's also a very good time to ask again, who do you know? Or maybe you haven't asked it up until that point. So ask a who do you know question. And maybe at that point, I've got a couple people that I'm going to look at that are loving the products that I'm going to ask to join and say, hey, I know you're loving it. And, now that you know what an awesome product is, have you thought about sharing it with your family and friends and becoming a consultant? So I've got a couple people on my list now that, and not saying you have to wait 2 months, but if you haven't up until that point, now's a good time to ask them. And again, if they say no, I'm not, interested, who do you know? Who do you know that might be? And they'll just say, they'll give you a name, or they'll say, I'm thinking about my sister would be really great at this. Let me check with her. And then again, follow up, right? Great thing to say is, great, I'd love to have you do that. Would it be okay if I checked back with you? Give her like 2 days, to do that. And can I check back? If it's Wednesday, can I check back with you on Friday? And she'll say yes or no. It's that simple, you guys. Don't be afraid to ask questions. People love questions. They love to tell you what option works best for them. I can't stress that enough. It's something I have learned, and it's amazing and it's powerful. Just come right out and ask. If you say I'm going to follow up, but you don't say when, right? She's not going to know when to expect your call or your message. So, make sure she's in your phone so she has your number. Just figure out, you can even ask them, what is the best way for us to communicate? What is the best way for me to check in and find out and make sure that you're loving these products? I love to say that. I will make sure that you are loving these products, not just liking them, but loving them. Yeah, and our clients they are loving them. So it's been really, really fun. I think that's it, you guys. I hope this was helpful. I'm looking at where my notes are really quick. If there's any questions you have for me or suggestions, please message me, please text me, please call me. I'm here for you. You can catch me on the Facebook page and Facebook group, Three Finger JMT. But follow up, I can't stress how important it is and how it can build your business long term, big time, long term. Thanks, you guys.